The hottest smell is off my boots. Should have kicked in more faces while it lasted.
You talk about violence very casually.
I'm a casual girl. You and me against the galaxy. Just sweat, blasters, and good times.
You shoot high, I'll shoot low.
That's the spirit. Let's get moving. So we're clear. Imperial rations are nasty, and I lived on grubs and 2-credit wine for a year. They raise you on those things. No wonder you're a bunch of stiffs.
You make it sound like you don't like the Imperial lifestyle.
Only time I kneel is to puke in the refresher. Here's what I don't get. You got a little brass, you got a little style. You're not totally one of them. But you still play keeper's pet. Shoot all the right people when you could work for... whoever.
I could point out that goes for you as well.
You mean you could avoid the question? Me? I'm in long enough to lay low, pick up some cash, sort out some personal stuff you guys can help with. Then I'm gone.
Who knows? I show you a good time, you might change your mind.
You're fun, Agent, but you're not that fun.
You said you wanted to talk.
What? Oh, yeah, sorry. No idea what I was gonna say. Been distracted. Thinking about home.
You miss your family in a cozy bed.
Said I was thinking. Didn't say I missed it. Life was miserable on Ratatak. Backwards people living in caves. Big on tribal blood feuds. Almost got stoned to death when I was 12. That's when I knew I had to get out.
Are you expecting a hug?
Hey, fine. You don't want to hear it, I won't tell you anything. That's why I don't talk about myself. You freaking people throw it in my face.
You're very good at this game, you know that.
Yeah, well, it's been real fun, Agent. You smell burnt flesh? That's my fingers. Gun overheated in the last fight. So, all that one-shot kill stuff you do, where'd you learn it?
It was part of my training. I can show you exercises if you like.
Yeah, I like getting off more than a round a minute. I learned to shoot with a friend of mine. First year out of Ratatak, I was a mess. Me and Amspecial hooked up on a tramp freighter. She was running too. We stole a holdout blaster and shared it.
You said her name was Amspecial.
Twi'lek name. Think they say it easier. She had gang connections, so one time we were raiding the ship's cargo bay, planning to sell whatever we get. Turns out it was an exchange ship, syndicate stuff. We've just pried open the storage crates when we figure it out. We're dead meat, right?
With one holdout blaster, the odds weren't in your favor.
Best we can figure. I torch the place while Ampsby grabs the dockworker. Then we sit and wait for the exchange. Enforcers finally show. We blame the dockworker and say we came to stop it. Prove our exchange material. They bought it.
Risky. But I guess it paid off.
Best kind of risk. Amspecial ended up worse off later, but it was great for me. She was fun. We ever run into her, we should get together. Time of the century. Agent, we need to talk. I just heard from headquarters. Keeper finally came through on a promise he made when I joined up.
I'm not sure why that's cause for complaint.
Turns out they took a little long. I asked you guys to find Amspecial, old friend of mine. I told you about her. We hooked up after I left Ratatak. Last time I saw her, she saved my life and got me to Hutta. I owe her big. Now she's in trouble.
What sort of trouble?
She crossed some exchange buddies on Nar Shaddaa. Report didn't give details, but I can guess how it went down. I'm gonna head over, kill the exchange, and save the girl. You should come with.
You want my help? You've got it. Let's go.
Good choice. And so you know, we do this right, I've got a surprise plan for us. shine. Think that's most of the gang. Hands, get out here.
You're rescuing me? What am I, your princess?
If you were a princess, you might be worth something.
Shut up and toss me a gun. Who's your friend?
I stole Kaliyo from Nemro the Hutt. We've been together ever since.
Nemro, huh? How long were you with him?
Long enough.
You guys timed it good. By the way, they were gonna hang me to broil on a holosign. You got a way off-world?
Grab your stuff and meet us at the spaceport. I can get you a ride.
You have a plan to get her off now, Shadar?
Not quite. Remember I said I had a surprise for you? There's a bounty on Anspashal. We saved her, we own her, now we're gonna sell her.
We came here to rescue her. You told me she saved your life.
She did. You want to know how? She stuffed me in a box and shipped me to Hutta. I spent 12 weeks in muck working for a chem farmer. She humiliated me. I owe her for that too.
Next time you want a favor, give me the full story first.
You don't have to do anything. I'll handle it. And you get half the money. She'll be waiting in the hangar either way. Think about it. You and me? We're getting good. Hey, you made it all right.
Yeah. Ran into one of Zenjo's guys. Left him a scar, but he's still breathing, so a ride sounds good right now.
Give me 20 minutes, I'll set you up. Keep her company. I'll be back soon.
I really do appreciate the help, but... Can I ask you something?
Ask anything you want.
Okay, this'll sound odd, but what did Kaliyo say about us? She tell you we've known each other for years? Met after she left her homeworld? Big, long sob story?
She told me. Even then, it didn't ring true.
She's a habitual liar. I knew her for 6 months, and she'd been on her own forever. I don't even know where she's really from. So I have to wonder, is she really here to help? Or am I in even worse trouble?
I suggest you get off-world and don't let Kaliyo find you.
Guess that's my answer. I owe you one.
So where is she? I've got a bounty hunter waiting.
I wasn't going to let you sell her.
You let her go? That's not your call. Now she's out there and she thinks she's better than me. What were you thinking?
You bring me out here on a rescue mission, then you tell me we're selling a woman to bounty hunters.
Fine, Agent. Next time, I won't ask. So remember how I was going to sell Anspashal to a bounty hunter and you let her go? I hope it was worth it. Finally convinced the buyer we weren't trying to scam him. You and Anspi talk much when you were together? Swap stories about the old days? Gossip about me?
She said you were a habitual liar and that you'd only met in the past year.
Yeah, figured she'd say something like that. She's kind of crazy. Whole thing got me thinking, though. I've had a lot of partners over the years. Her, Nemro. Guy named Brawl used to hijack Republic supply ships. He had money, he had brass. How do you think you measure up?
Depends what your friend Roll was really like.
Bad temper, crafty, smelled, but you got used to it. Best pirate on the Rimmer. Showed me a good time.
You said you'd been partnered with Anspichel for years before you met Nemro. How does Roll fit in?
You know, I say a lot of things. I'm just joking, Agent. Joking. Get used to it. Hey, Agent. Take a look at this.
Where is she?
I don't know. How would I know?
Kaliyo Janice and her Twi'lek associate was seen attacking exchange resources on Nar Shaddaa. Should I believe you wouldn't seek revenge? I want her last known location, and I want it now!
I love it. Listen to that little tremor in his voice. He's adorable.
He does say your name with fondness.
Ijal and I go way back. As soon as I show my face, he starts torturing people to track me down. He's been obsessed ever since we split up on Farstein. For an arms dealer, he's kind of sweet. Makes me feel wanted.
If you've got such a bond, why not let him find you?
Not much of a game then, is it? Of course, if he ever found me, I'd have to choose. Do I go back with the bad, nasty man, or stick with the one I have?
I'm sure you'll know what to do.
Aren't you confident? I'll keep you in the loop. Next recording gets out, we can watch it together. If you can guess who's been talking to Nemro the Hutt, you owe me a drink.
From your tone, I'd say I'm looking at her.
Bingo. If you don't have a bottle on you, I'll take my prize in cash. Me and the Crime King were wrapping up some old business, long story. But he let slip something interesting. Remember Ujal, my arms dealer come stalker? He's been touching base with a lot of guys I used to work with, Nemro included.
Why would you be talking to Nemro?
He just wants information. Here's the problem. Now that Yajal's tipped his hand, some of my other ex-partners, the ones with grudges, they figure they need to hit me before Yajal does. We're talking people who should have moved on years ago. Guess I left a mark.
You do have a way with people. What should we expect?
I'm not gonna make a list, but first example who comes to mind, card shark named Teagle. Not a lot of guts, but he was rich and cute. We lived the high life until I broke his heart. Bet he'll hire some sleaze back to find me.
Teagle Card Shark. Any other names?
Told you about your Jal, Roll. Nemro and I are good. I'll let you know if anything else turns up. We might actually have to do something about this. All right, we've got a problem. I told you about my ex-partners, how they decided to come after me. Well, that's fine. I can deal with that. What's not fine is when random freaking bounty hunters come after me because they smell a trend.
Who's coming after you, Kaliyo?
Guy's called the Menace. Never worked with him, never dated him, never heard of him. He's tracking me down. Apparently got a rep as a duelist. Probably wants to auction me to anyone with a grudge.
This has gone far enough. We hunt him down and send a message.
I like it when you talk that way. I'll let you know when I have a plan. You and me, we're gonna get these people. Hey, I know I've been busy, but when are you gonna buy me that drink?
Something going on? Or are you just feeling friendly?
Little of both. I know how you treat girls on missions. You see someone you want, you go after her and make her want you too. It's a fun game for a while, but we both can play better. You agree?
I'm really not one for subtlety.
What's the point? So, drink or no drink?
I like you, Kaliyo. I'm glad you're on my team. Can that be enough?
You're kidding. Huh. Okay, Agent. Next move is yours. So here's the deal. I've been working through the list of guys and gals who might come after me. Ex-partners, hookups, the usual. I think I know everyone has a problem. We hit them first, we clean house, I'm home free. Ready to go?
I assume you put together a strategy.
Gotta keep busy somehow while you're lining up sniper shots. There's 4 targets. Roll, my pirate, Yajal the arms dealer, Teagle the card shark, and that bounty hunter who's following along. I've got locations, so all we need to do is show up and start shooting.
I'm not killing anyone until we've exhausted all options.
Fine. Whatever gets you to go. You really aren't any fun. Hey, Raul. How's the arm?
Roll. Kaliyo said you two go back a ways.
I wanted a bigger cut. You said no. We raided ships for a living. What did you think would happen? Forget that. Anyway, I've got a friend this time. Wait till you see him work.
I wasn't expecting a pirate to be so sentimental.
Oh, don't get him started. Here's where my arms dealer buddy hangs out. Follow my lead. Hey, Flunky, where's your Jal?
I'll let him know you're here.
Kaliyo Jan says I live and breathe. I didn't expect to find you at my shop.
No one else has got what you've got.
So very true. Tell me, have you brought my money so I can quit paying my thugs to harass you?
Don't forget your manners.
Yajal, this is my new partner.
My sympathies to you, stranger.
Yajal and I met when he was selling vibro round hard ammo to Iridonian mercs. Spotted each other's markings across the room.
We started working together, then it soured. Kaliyo decided, after nearly a year of supplying me with product, to play a little shell game. I lost a considerable sum and nearly went to prison.
I told you to put trackers on those cannons.
I'm a businessman and I like her, so I'll call off my dogs if she recoups my losses. Otherwise, I can't leave her so pretty.
What'll it take from me to end this?
You serious?
I'll put together an invoice. There, pay the bill and I'll never bother your friend again.
I've got the money. Here.
You're sure you want to spend it on her? I could sell you a custom disruptor rifle for 2/3 the price.
I think he made his choice.
Of course. A pleasure doing business, and a pleasure seeing you again, Kaliyo. If you ever get back to Taliban, call me.
I can't believe you spent all that.
If no one needs to die, there's no point in killing.
Yeah, I guess. We can talk about it later. For now, we've got 2 more targets to go. This card player. Just need to get his people off my back.
Tell the Hutt I always appreciate a fan, but I don't need anyone to stake me.
Hello, Ta. Look who you found.
Kaliyo? Kaliyo, it's fantastic to see you. Who's your friend?
I work with her, and she wanted me here for this.
Of course, I understand.
You want to tell me what you were thinking looking for me? Hiring investigators? Bribing dock managers?
I just wanted to find you.
You're messing with my life. A lot of people want me dead, and if you find me, a lot of other people find me too.
I didn't think I wanted you back with me. I want to share the penthouse again, and the money, and... I want you not to leave.
How long were you two a couple?
5 months. We met after a sabacc tournament. She, conned me out of half the winnings. But she came back. Didn't she?
Yeah, and look where it got me.
Why'd you leave, Kaliyo?
You're not asking the questions. You listen good, you worm. I'm not going to let you ruin me.
So you'll kill me instead for not giving up on you?
Kaliyo made her decision. Now you're only hurting her and yourself.
I tried to keep her safe. I'm sorry.
Of course you're sorry. It's why I left you, Ta. You're boring. Let's go. Hope the next target's more interesting. So according to what I got, this is the last place anyone saw our bounty hunter. The Menace. Loser wants a piece of me just because everyone else does. We'll show him what it's like to be hunted.
How do you want to handle this one?
We hang around until someone comes home, or until we get bored. Keep your gun out. I think we got something.
Kaliyo, you haven't changed.
Do I know you?
You should.
Ona Querent, the woman you left on Elysia, remember?
No way. You're kidding.
I take it you've met the Menace after all.
She's Senator Querent's daughter. Rich brat. I showed her how to live.
You seduced me into leaving my father, leaving Coruscant.
You got to see new places, hang with Black Sun. Her dad didn't even cut off her accounts.
He thought I'd been kidnapped. When you disappeared, I cried for a month. I couldn't go home. But on Alderaan, they taught me how to duel, so I became this.
You can't tell me you were expecting this.
I've gotta say, Ona, I didn't think you had it in you.
Now you know. Put down your weapons and surrender. I'm taking you, dead or alive.
I don't know what happened between you, but surely you can resolve this.
Well, what do you say?
I'm impressed, but I'm not apologizing.
Then we fight.
You and me? Getting good. Let's go down that list again. Roll, check. Yajal, check. Tatigel, check. The Menace, check. You and me, Agent, we are freaking king and queen of the galaxy.
You have had some interesting relationships.
Kind of fun seeing everyone again. Still can't believe you bought off that nasty little arms dealer. And without Rawl, the Rim is gonna be fair game for new pirates. Opportunity for everyone.
I notice you aren't mentioning Tar-Teagle.
What's to mention? He'll be fine. Won't look for me again. Forget those losers. Forget intelligence if you want. You and me have got a future.
Partners till the bitter end? Or is the day coming when I'm the one hunted down?
If I knew, I'd tell you. That's part of the fun, though, right? I liked my time with those guys, and I like my time here. Wouldn't have it any other way. So, thanks. I'm worried your shooting's a little off. All that tech stuff wearing you down. If we ever go blasters only, your kill count won't look good next to mine.
I'm going to assume that's your natural good cheer.
You assume right. No one hunting me down, no exes mooning over me. Last time I cleaned house, I was playing anarchist on Brentel. Feels good to be free again.
What does a free woman do with herself?
Well, I've got a lot of options. Might be time to move on. I could go after a big score, try something other than spy games. You could come with me.
You want to leave this life and seek fame and fortune together?
Why not? You can't do this forever, and you and me can see the stars. Doing something, getting into trouble. Haven't worked it out past that, but I'll let you know. Here's what I figure. Every morning you get up, you exercise, you check your gear, you do your thing to prep. You've got flowcharts tattooed on your eyelids. Me, I'm lucky when I don't crawl out of bed drooling on the floor. How is it I keep up with you? Am I just that good, or does dirty fighting beat training after all?
I'd never argue your skills aren't impressive.
Admit it. We're a good team. You with the gimmicks and me with the rough stuff. We're not tripping over each other anymore. Took a while, but you and me, we're a synced up death machine.
Give us a few more years, we'll be taking out star cruisers.
You set up the shot, I'll take it, Agent.
Hello, Kaliyo. What's going on?
Hey, so I've been thinking, with all the stuff I've told you about my past, we ever talk about the Brental anarchists?
You've mentioned their existence and that you worked with them. No details.
Then here's a morsel for you. We were the Revolutionary Edge Brigade. So was probably me and a dozen other guys. We blew up hollow relays, robbed banks, kidnapped politicos and corporate honchos. Did a lot of damage.
I suppose you were vicious in your youth.
I've mellowed. REB let me blow up stuff and call it progress. I wasn't really in it for the philosophy. Even so, there's times I look at who we work for now and, well, I never thought I'd end up helping a bunch of dictators, you know?
Dreams can be very different from reality.
Hey, you probably got it worse than me. Thing is, I'm actually pretty content. I've got money, company's decent. Even your squad's growing on me. Hypocrisy's a funny thing. See you around, Agent.
I hope I'm not prying. I overheard a bit of your conversation and couldn't help but wonder, have you noticed anything unusual about Kaliyo's behavior lately?
Less griping, more cheer. Other than that, no.
Interesting. I hadn't spotted that. However, I've noticed some encoded messages broadcast to and from the ship. Kaliyo has access to the relay, and I'm trying to assess all possibilities.
Let me know if anything happens, or if you find out more about those transmissions.
Of course. I always enjoy a puzzle.
Look, I'm sorry to dump this on you, but you're gonna need to live without me for a little while. It'll be quick, but I need time off to wrap up some personal things.
It's a little sudden, isn't it? What's going on?
Nothing big, just some private stuff.
And I was worried I'd miss your departure. Kaliyo, we've had our differences, but I wanted to wish you the best of luck. I'm sure the Wheezer and his Revolutionary Edge Brigade will be delighted to have you back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm surprised that you would permit this, though. Letting Kaliyo see her old anarchist friends must violate any number of Imperial regulations.
Clearly I haven't been filled in.
I've traced encoded messages sent from this ship to the leader of the Brental anarchists.
Look, it's not what you think. The Weezer got in touch, said he needed help. Didn't say why, but I figure security's cracking down on the cell again.
Why didn't you say anything?
The Weezer was good to me, so I thought I'd lend a hand. Figured telling you would make trouble, get someone killed. If you don't trust me, come back with me and watch my back. We'll buy him off somehow. Might actually survive that way.
All you had to do was ask.
Thank you. I'll get in touch with him. One call to set up the meeting.
I'll leave you to your work.
We're all set. The Weezer will meet us at the Hutta spaceport. Just try to make this go without a fight. I don't need to lose either of you. Remember, we're not here to make trouble. You start something, I get unhappy.
Kaliyo, of all the gifts you've sent to me, this is truly the finest. An agent of Imperial intelligence. How marvelous.
Kaliyo said you needed help. We're willing to work with you.
You believed her.
Weezer!
Kaliyo has been selling information to the Revolutionary Edge Brigade ever since she joined the Empire.
What are you doing?
Imperial security data, spaceport blueprints, the names of powerful people, useful things. But now, she's gone beyond the call of duty.
You've been selling our secrets to anarchists.
It's not how he makes it sound. This wasn't what we agreed.
Why bother keeping it private when your associate dies anyway? He's more useful dead than alive. His hands and eyes can get us through biometric security scans.
This isn't a harvest job.
Then I apologize for misreading our agreement, but this is too promising an opportunity to pass up.
Tell me what's going on. Tell me the truth.
Damn you, Agent. And damn you, Weezer, for making me do this.
No mercy. Disappointed with you, Kaliyo. You were never a believer, but siding with the Empire?
I didn't want to pick a side. So yeah, I sold him a few secrets. He paid better than you do, and it's not like I got you in trouble.
How long have you two been working together?
I don't know. First time we went to Droman Khas, I sent him some stuff. Just became a regular thing. I didn't talk about the missions. I'm not stupid. He was into bombing spaceports and raiding transports, not espionage and conspiracies.
I've dedicated my life to this work. Selling Imperial secrets, it can't continue.
Meaning what? You should know by now that I am never going to care about the Empire. Not like you do. Not at all.
I'm not asking you to change, but we're partners. We're supposed to rely on each other. If you don't care about the Empire, care about that.
I do. I like working with you. You know how it is. I'll try. Guess we'll see how it goes. Blasted. You know what today is? Today's the day I've worked with you longer than any of my exes.
Don't tell me you missed your chance to escape.
Normally at this point I'd skip out and go con someone new. But you've got me so freaking out of practice it's not worth the bother. So I'll make you a deal. I'll stick with you, you keep me comfortable. I can live with this setup.
I can agree to that, Kaliyo.
Tell you what, I'll make it easier to live with. I've given up teaching you anything, but we ever get someone new, I'll show them the ancient blood traditions of rat attack, and maybe how to down a Rhodian ale without puking.
Agent, we're finalizing our exit report for the diplomatic service. 34 pages of seating charts, ambassador profiles, and appendices. We'll transmit it to our superiors, and then we're yours full-time.
You're going to be an asset to this team, Vector?
We certainly hope so. You know, we used to advise first contact missions to new star systems. We met some unusual people, but we haven't had many new experiences since joining the Killiks. Time to broaden our horizons.
After what happened, are you still part of the Killik hive mind?
The Nest has no concept of betrayal, and no concept of forgiveness. If they considered us a threat, they'd have eaten us. So we remain the Dawn Herald. And one day, we will make amends.
What can I do for you, Vector?
Agent, excuse us a moment. We hear the song. The Nest awakens. Light fills the hive, and we are one. Apologies. It's the hour of revitalization, and as Dawn Herald, we still participate, in spirit, if not in person.
Do what you need to. I'm not here to interfere.
We appreciate that, and we'd like you to understand. Traditionally, the Dawn Herald is a warrior and emissary for the Nest, one who confronts the unknown. As Herald, we are more than a typical joiner, and we retain a sense of individuality. It's also why we're useful to you.
You aren't entirely part of the hive mind, but you don't want to leave it, do you?
The joining changed us, and we are content. In any case, we still honor the Killik's gift, but surely everyone carries over rituals and habits from their lives before intelligence.
Who I was then made me who I am today, for the most part.
You should tell us about your past. When we have time, we'd like to hear it. Last night, we ate our first ration bar since leaving the Nest. We savored the flavor for 2 hours. We could taste every nutrient, every chemical compound and trace of foil. Do you know what joining the Killiks does to a person's senses?
No. But shouldn't you have noticed months ago?
All we ate in the Nest was membrosia. This is something new. Thank you. But we did have something more serious to discuss. How do you see our role as an operative on your team?
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Keeper described us as a covert assault agent. Our role as Dawn Herald gives us that capacity. We just don't know if that's the only reason we're here, or if it should be.
If there's information you have or aid you can provide, tell me. I'm still learning your talents.
So are we, in a sense. But Agent, our whole life, we've been a diplomat. Whatever else we become, perhaps we shouldn't abandon that so readily. Agent, we hope you don't mind, but we were wondering something. Do you have a family? Siblings, a wife, people to go home to after a mission?
Not a question I was expecting, I'll confess.
We aren't trying to pry. We're just trying to understand how anyone in this job keeps a tether to the real world. None of us can exist in isolation forever.
Ordinary life is easy to forget. That's why we have to remind one another.
Fair enough. Then we all share that responsibility. Thank you, Agent.
You wanted to talk?
Yes. The suns are warmer here. Nothing that smells so green when the gamma bursts come. Even the song can rest. We must go. Auras mingle. Apologies, Agent. Emissaries from our nest. They stowed away aboard the ship and have accompanied us since we left Alderaan. They're becoming quite sociable.
There was something you wanted to discuss.
The Killiks of Alderaan know little of the galaxy, only what they absorb through joiners. Our journey teaches them a great deal, but there is something that intrigues us, intrigues the nest. The fate of our lost kin.
What lost kin?
Alderaan has only a handful of nests, sleeping beneath the castle lands and awakening every few centuries. The other Killiks migrated off-world millennia ago. No one knows what became of them, or whether they survived. But the migration is a primal memory. We miss them.
If the Citadel has any record of Killik encounters, we can find out.
We appreciate that, Agent. It may help. We don't know if it's truly important to find them, but as Dawn Herald, we'll be watching. We've been dreaming lately. Great spit-creaked vessels weep dew above the castle lands. Their engines scorch the air. Dart ship swarms shade the sky, humming a song of farewell. We remember the Great Migration, when the lost nests departed Alderaan.
What was the point of the migration? Why did so many Killiks leave?
That we don't remember. Resources, perhaps? But there's something else. In our dream, there is a mosaic that mirrors the stars and shows us the lost one's destination. We request leave for a pilgrimage, Agent, to follow the first steps of the migrant Killiks.
You think the lost nests are still out there?
It's been millennia since the migration, and we doubt we'll see more than dust or petrified shells. Still, the journey honors our kin. We're already packed.
I'll be here when you're done. Take care of yourself.
And you.
So, you made it back from your pilgrimage.
Our journey is over. We saw strange worlds and markers set in stone and frozen lakes of steaming colors, but no Killiks. The colony found planets that suited them, but none that could support them. They divided into 1,000 nests, each going its own way, to 100 different stars.
I know this isn't the end you were hoping for.
We forged a connection to the lost colony. Even if we didn't find it, this means a great deal. In any event, we're sorry. What? There is a scent here.
You're not giving up already. We apologize for surprising you, but it took time for us to become aware of your presence. More to find you. But we welcome you nonetheless. We are Daizana, of the Lesai Nest.
Maybe you should handle this.
Daizana of Lese. We are Vector Hillis, Dawn Herald of Oroboro.
Oroboro? We barely recognize the scent. We thought we'd lost the nests of Alderaan until you followed. Our fleet ship pursued you here. The colony still exists, spun across the stars. Our nests still kin. 1 trillion and more Killiks will dance and sing tonight.
She seems to like you, Vector.
She is a joiner, Agent. It's how we are.
Our emissaries are not far from your own. Let them touch and bring knowledge.
Yes, the Lese shall rejoice. She offers dancing and Membrosia, the chance to walk the tunnels of the Synapse Cone.
The Dawn Herald must come with us. As his partner, you may accompany and share in our joy.
I'd love to see a Killik celebration lead the way.
Don't worry. We'll be out before the pheromones bond to your system.
The ambrosia runs in golden rivers.
You're doing well. Accompany the joiners, if you wish. Morning comes soon. We're impressed. You held up well. More to the point, you brought together the fragments of an ancient people. We can't fully express our gratitude. We hear the singing of 1,000 nests, and are at peace.
I'm glad you're in high spirits. Call it a day, then?
Agreed, Agent. Agent, we've had time to think since reuniting the Killik colony. Not that our work hasn't kept us busy, but we didn't actually thank you for allowing our pilgrimage. You should come with us next time.
No need to thank me. You ever need support, just say the word.
We'll try not to make you regret that offer. In any case, we should get back to work. We promised Kaliyo we'd keep the hatchlings away from her quarters, which means some training is in order.
The last thing we need is infighting among the crew or bugs under our pillows.
Spoken like the warrior poets of old. Let us know if anything comes up. We are ready to move when you are.
How are things, Vector?
Agent, when we communed with the other nests, we saw a force for change in the galaxy. There are Killiks as large as starships and as small as mites, joiners from 100 species on 1,000 worlds. We mean to report on the Killik colony to the diplomatic service.
The colony's been in hiding for a long time. The Killiks may not appreciate it.
We've shared thoughts with Daizana of the Lacey Nest, and we've assessed the limits of their cooperation. If the service can make entreaties to the colony, if we make them an ally, we'll have a foothold in the unknown regions. We'd have access to Killik craftsmanship, joiner information. Even without their military support, they would be invaluable.
What would an Imperial Killik alliance take?
We've outlined a proposal. The Killiks want peace and resources, and the Empire can offer both. And if the Empire doesn't make allies of the Killiks, someone else may get to them first.
However I can assist, say the word.
We'd ask you to sign off on the report. Other than that, we'll keep your offer in mind. Thank you. Agent, we heard back from the diplomatic service about our proposed alliance with the Killik colony. Our report was soundly ignored. It seems we have less credibility than we thought.
You worked for them for years, and this is what you get.
We are twice compromised. No longer human, and no longer a diplomat. A colleague named Fulner S. sent the update on our report along with a message. He wants us to call him, accompanied by our handler. We believe he means you.
Put him through, we'll see what he wants.
Master Hillis, I'm so glad you got my message. How are you? How's Anya?
Anora. We haven't seen her in some time, but we hear she's well. And your son?
I'm stationed on Balmorra, still hoping to join the Shadow Fist. And you must be Cypher 9. It's my privilege to meet you. Rest assured, I went through channels to arrange this. Imperial intelligence has agreed to loan me Vector so long as you're amenable.
Vector contacted you about a Killik alliance. Why would you need him?
My superiors don't see the wisdom in Vector's advice. I do. Yet I lack the authority to force the issue.
Someone is blocking you?
Tarab, Sabini, the usual crew. If I'm to win them over, I need influence. Vector, with your ties from the service and the colony's knowledge, I could amass a string of victories. And the more I succeed through your consultations, the better chance your Killik Imperial alliance comes to pass.
What's your take on all this?
He wants us to play politics, but that is how things are accomplished.
Perceptive man. I'll be in touch with specifics.
We appreciate your help, Agent. We'll make it worthwhile to you, to the Empire, and to the colony. Agent, you recall we spoke to the diplomatic service about building an alliance between Empire and Kylix? Falna Eth, the man who offered his backing in return for our assistance, has asked us for his first favor.
What's our diplomat friend after?
Falna wants our notes on various families and unaligned worlds in the Questal sector. He means to bring that sector into the Empire. We worked in Questal a long while, and we knew its people well. It's odd to see someone else take the reins.
You don't talk about your old life.
We don't often have a reason to think about it. We do miss negotiating, reaching out to understand people, synthesizing their needs. Daizana of the Lesai Nest says that desire makes us a better joiner. It's only small comfort.
You haven't forgotten your training. Even as Dawn Herald, you're an ambassador.
Perhaps. But seeing men like Falna again, we think it's best if he handles negotiations. Apologies, Agent. This is something we need to think on more deeply. But we are glad you stand by us.
You wanted something, Vector?
We do not neglect our duties. We are Dawn Herald. We do this for the Nest. Agent, we've had another request from Falna Eth, our ally inside the diplomatic service. We need to take a short leave.
We can spare you for a little while. What does Falna want this time?
Falna's stock is rising, but he needs further acclaim before he can push for a Kylix Imperial alliance. He's asked us to visit a former Republic governor named Yogana Thanoth and win his cooperation by turning him into a joiner.
Give me the details on Thanoth. Who is this man and what makes him important?
Formerly of Ord Mantell, possessed of quite a few secrets the diplomatic service could make use of. The joining should be a gift, but we will find a way.
Whatever you decide, I'll back you. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're back. Did you find your man?
We spoke to the Republic governor. If you'll join us, we'll report the details to Falna Eth.
My friends, it's been too long.
Falna, we assume you've heard from Thanoth.
He contacted me from an Imperial transport. Apparently we promised to work with him. Not what I requested, but the service can make do.
There was no need to make him a joiner when he was amenable to discussion.
You haven't lost your touch as a diplomat after all.
Not entirely, no.
You kept your promise. Thanoth's assistance resulted in my promotion. I will keep my promise to you. Some important people are waiting, Vector. They're very interested in a potential Kylix alliance.
You arranged this?
As soon as I knew we could work together. Check the data I'm streaming to your main console.
Thank you, Falna. Excuse us a moment, Agent.
It's like talking to a bug wearing a man's skin. I don't know how you stand it.
He's a brave man and a loyal Imperial.
You can't be serious. Those creatures are anathema to everything the Empire stands for. There's no place for great men in a hive mind. Only animal instinct. I'll be relieved when you people finish this scheme and get rid of the colony for good.
Agent, they listened. They don't understand yet, but they listened. The diplomatic service has requested my aid and wants to initiate relations with the colony.
Listen, Falna Eth is keeping his deal, but he's repulsed by Kylix. We can't trust him.
He admits it? We always did get an odd sense from him. It's out of his hands now, though. We should watch him, but we'll be focused on the future. Agent, we received a small gift from the diplomatic service in appreciation of our work with the Kylix. A package of wine, meat, and breadfruit, all imported from the colony worlds. Not inexpensive, and a bit extravagant during wartime.
Aren't extravagant gifts part of the diplomatic process?
Maybe, but we'd rather they treated us as one of their own, not as a foreigner to be won over. In the meantime, you're welcome to help yourself. We may as well enjoy the taste of progress.
What do you have for me?
Encouraging news. Watch.
Dawn Herald, forgive the message, but our emissaries were out of reach and we couldn't wait to link with you. Imperial scout ships entered colony space and made contact yesterday. We traded in Membrosia, silk, and star maps. We could smell the men's fright, but they left in peace. Perhaps you were right after all.
A long way from a signed treaty, but it's a start.
It looks like your work is paying off.
So far. We're in touch with the diplomatic service as well. There's still resistance, but we're progressing. Killiks and Imperials may share space in our lifetime.
What's going on?
Agent, in our work with the diplomatic service, we find ourselves talking to people we once knew. We've been contemplating this.
Hello, Vector. It's Anora. I don't know if you remember me, but Bryson said he thought you would, and I wanted to talk to you. I know things didn't end well, but I never forgot. You need to get out of there. Come back to Drummond Cars and we'll get you help. We can undo what the Killiks did. There are still people who care about you.
We've watched it 17 times and meditated to the static.
It can be difficult to be reminded of your past.
Can it? We were nearly engaged to Anora very long ago. We never considered that there are people who want us restored to what we were. But watching this, feeling nothing, we know we're no longer who we were when we loved her.
People change, even without becoming part Killik. It's part of life.
We think you're right, but we had to hear it from another. And we are content. It is done, Agent. We can scent the pulse of your heart. We can taste particles of solar radiation bead like dew on our lips. We have undergone the chrysalis of tranquility, and we are reborn.
I don't know what that means, but I'm glad you're excited.
The chrysalis is a ritual of the Dawn Herald. It makes us stronger, better able to face the enemies of the nest, and enhances our link to the universe. You've brought us this far, and we will fight alongside you. We have news, Agent. We've been conferring lately with the ambassadors, moffs, speakers for the Sith, all with their own agendas and concerns, none with any love for the Killiks. But we swayed a few, and found ways around others. Now the diplomatic service has agreed to seek a treaty.
An alliance with the Killik colony. It's what you've been wanting.
What we've been working toward together. Some of the nests are still reluctant, Horo and Manam in particular, but all parties involved have agreed to a summit. We'll preside over the negotiations ourselves.
I'm at your disposal. I want this to work.
So do we. Thank you, Agent. Imagine. Colony and Imperial representatives in one room. It shall be interesting. Agent, we've been speaking to the nests in preparation for the Killik Imperial Summit. They're so much in tune with their biology. The Colossalok are warriors as large as houses, and they're convinced the Empire should be crushed. But the Saras are weavers and shapers, and they're eager to trade.
You're all one species, aren't you? How can that much biological diversity be possible?
From the beginning, there was the joining, and that links us, even as our bodies evolve over millennia. Of course, that's just what our memories tell us. The colony has never specialized in scientific research. We should return to our preparations. We'll talk later. We are set, Agent. Preparations for the Killik Imperial Summit are underway, and the first ambassadors are arriving on site. We're meeting on Alderaan, in the House of Thule. We couldn't think of a more appropriate place.
Alderaan it is. Where's my invitation?
You don't want to sit through it all. But there is a favor we'd like to ask. More than any other Imperial, you've seen the nests and how they function. Your word could carry weight. Before we leave, we'd appreciate your honest assessment. One final report that we can present to the Imperial Summit attendees.
An alliance with the Killiks would benefit the Empire immensely, and I'm not afraid to say so. I'll have a report to you by the time you reach Alderaan.
We look forward to it. Agent, the summit is over. It was not without incident. Daizana of the Lesai Nest is dead.
I thought things were looking up. How did the summit turn violent?
Fulner F., our contact in the diplomatic service, attempted to sabotage the proceedings. Daizana was caught in an explosion, saving an ambassador. And when we traced it to Fulner, he had a speech prepared.
Daniel, listen to them. Do you want to ally the Empire with these creatures? Everything they do defies what we stand for. The Killiks are an abomination. Our empire is based on the notion that a great individual rises to the top, and the lesser masses follow. The Killik hive mind devours greatness, absorbs every possibility into a mire of primal instinct.
We found his words troubling, and his actions more so.
I expect that didn't help the talks.
No, but we reconvened after Fulner was gone.
The colony allowed billions of Killiks and joiners to serve something greater, the Nest consciousness. Just as Imperials serve the Sith and the Emperor.
That is what we told the others. That is how we signed a treaty between the Empire and the Killiks.
It's been a long time coming, but you made it happen.
Both sides will open their borders to trade. Protocols will be set for military and diplomatic contact.
You and Daizana, even Fulner, you all brought us to this point. Our future is hopeful.
Things are looking bright. Let's enjoy it while it lasts.
We end a verse in the Song of the Universe. Soon, we will hear another.
Vector, what's going on?
It's strange. Since the summit, our mind keeps drifting back to diplomacy, but we have nowhere to apply our skills. Still, we should be grateful Killik-Imperial relations are going well. And it's time we rededicated ourselves to your work.
Making allies is vital to what we do. I need you as a diplomat more than I need a soldier.
We don't intend to stop being a diplomat. We've been privileged over these past months. Until opportunity comes again, on to the less glamorous job we signed up for.
Yes, Vector?
Agent, we'll never be a great spy or covert assault operative. But you've helped us to be a diplomat and a Dawn Herald. You've been a brother to us, and we're thankful for your guidance.
There aren't many people I trust to save my life. I'm glad to have you at my side.
We received a message from the Killiks. The colony embraces the Imperial Alliance, and offered us the chance to become Dawn Herald to all nests. We refused as our priorities are clear. We'll work with you and defend your legacy until the end.
Cypher, I've finished unpacking the last of my equipment. Between your ship's onboard systems and my custom apparatus, you'll soon have the finest in-flight laboratory in the sector.
You'll make us the envy of the fleet.
Then I'll refrain from publicizing it. Officially, of course, I'm in semi-retirement, monitoring background radiation somewhere in the Zetan wastes. Unofficially, I'm very much looking forward to traveling with you.
Understood, Doctor. I've never been to the Zetan wastes, and we have never met.
An excellent start. I expect this should prove very interesting. Should you need anything from me, you only have to ask. Although, if you want my genetic code rewritten, let me know before we leave the ship.
Make sure I'm in the loop on your work. Otherwise, no immediate requests.
Of course, this is going to be invigorating for both of us. Cypher, join us. Vector and I were just discussing Moff Letshara.
We never met her, of course.
Quite fortunate that. But Vector did know her husband, a fine Dejaric player and a scribe of the Ilfmar Gambit.
We apparently share the Doctor's taste in theatre.
By all means, continue.
I wouldn't want to take your time, but Master Vector, we should talk again.
Of course, Doctor.
Your crew members are delightful people. For instance, did you know Mistress Kaliyo is fluent in Kalish profanities? A rare and admirable skill. I wonder how you manage them. Leadership is such a delicate thing.
You sound like you've thought about this.
I confess it had crossed my mind. A dead or alienated colleague is a resource lost, and in our business, it's a small step from being disliked to being blacklisted.
I appreciate the benefit of your experience.
And I appreciate your company. But I'm afraid I have to attend to my data analysis program. Another time, Cypher. My good friend, allow an old man some sentiment and join me for a reminiscence. Today is the 13th anniversary of the death of Cypher 12, one of the finest agents I've ever worked with.
I've never heard of a Cypher 12. They don't mention our predecessors much.
Our history is fleeting, to say the least. Cypher 12 was one of the old guard from before the war. He cultivated allies on the fringes. By the time he received his Mandalorian brands, he'd also become verbally abusive in private, but he never cracked on the job. Always had a smile.
If he was so capable, what happened to him?
Eventually the odds caught up with him, and a Hapani royal assassin punctured his lungs. Inevitable, really. Are you aware how few ciphers survive past year 5?
The odds aren't good for any of us.
Quite so. I admire the line you walk between obedience and ingenuity. Unfortunately, your methods breed enemies. Be careful not to end up without recourse.
There's some truth there, I'll admit. We'll see what happens.
Friendly advice from one who knows. I've made it through a very long career by choosing my partners wisely. I've outlasted them all, and I intend to keep doing so. Cypher, I had the most delightful conversation with Master Vector. Did you... I'm getting a feed on my earpiece. One moment. I apologize. That's the 3rd time this week one of my security alarms has gone off.
I take it these alarms don't particularly worry you?
I monitor all my safe houses as a matter of course. I have a few dozen around the galaxy. A precaution, really. I haven't needed them in years. Usually when an alarm goes off, it means a child has come exploring, or a rat has slipped through the ventilation shafts.
You're not going to double-check?
Hardly worth the bother. I really should dismantle the safe houses altogether. But old habits die hard. Besides, I hold out hope that I'll need to go to ground someday in one last exciting adventure.
Remind me not to underestimate you, Doctor. If we ever need a sanctuary...
You'll have whatever humble aid I can provide.
Doctor, you wanted to talk.
Yes, and I'm terribly sorry to take your time, but I have a small request. To be frank, it's a bit of an embarrassment.
You have my undivided attention.
I told you before about my safe houses, how my intruder alarms have been going off. Well, I attributed it to local happenstance. I may have been mistaken. My safe house on Balmora exploded.
Any idea who among your enemies is responsible?
I could theorize regarding who did this and why, but truthfully, all I know is someone bypassed Imperial security to get inside. I'll need to see the safe house in person. I'll return as soon as I can.
You could be walking into a trap. Stay alert, Doctor.
And you. Well, I'm afraid the news is mixed. My safe house did indeed burn to the ground, along with 3 would-be assassins who were attempting to wire it with explosives. Apparently, my security triggered their bombs prematurely.
Do you booby-trap all your safe houses? Or just the ones your enemies know about?
You make it sound like I used safe houses as bait. I did acquire genetic samples of the intruders. I'll be running traces shortly. One was a human male. The others, uncertain. Regardless, they used Imperial equipment and codes to get inside. Someone in the Empire wants me dead.
This could be a frame job. It wouldn't be hard to arrange.
A wise assertion, although the particulars suggest otherwise. One way or the other, I take comfort in the fact that I'm once again viewed as a threat. My days in retirement are over.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Forgive me, but as your sole medical officer, I have to point out that your eating habits have been less than satisfactory lately. Now, I'll take my share of the blame. I've been preoccupied making calls, catching up on what I've missed in the intelligence community. Still, the fact that people are trying to kill me does not excuse my neglect of your health.
I appreciate your concern, but you've done a fine job,
says the child to the unstripped parent. But regarding my search, I do have some small amount of news. I've identified one of the assassins as an operative for Colonel Langor, a man with ties to the Imperial Science Bureau. The Bureau is also the likely origin of the other dead men whose genetic structure had been mutated. Weaponized humans.
What do you mean, weaponized humans? What's the Science Bureau doing?
Military research is the Bureau's purpose. Making humans stronger, faster, is one approach. Which reminds me, I'd like your permission to run some tests on Master Vector. I'm rather curious about a joiner's physiology, and Vector is keen to learn more about himself.
If it won't cause harm, I don't have any objections.
Wonderful. I'll let him know the good news. And of course, I'll keep you apprised. My good friend, have you noticed that the price of Dianogan tea has risen considerably since we broke the Treaty of Coruscant? One of the costs of war you never anticipate. And now my jamming device is working, so we can dispense with the inanities.
You're not usually this cautious. What's going on?
Thanks to a now wealthy Kubaz information broker, I've identified the people who want me dead. They represent an organization called Project Protean, a secret research and development group inside the Imperial Science Bureau.
You are good at this game. Give me the details.
Protean researches practical applications of alien biology. You recall the genetically modified assassins who came after me? They're only the beginning. Imagine troops spliced with Abyssin genes to enhance healing, or adrenals derived from Gamorrean hormones. Most test subjects don't fare well, but you can see the potential.
That sounds awfully like what you were doing on Terrace.
There's a great deal of interdepartmental rivalry in our work, and my research does overlap with theirs. They may have targeted me in order to ensure that they have no competition, inside or outside the Empire.
This is your operation. What's our next step?
Further study, I'm afraid. Right now, I'm unsure where the project is based or how to contact its members, but I wanted to keep you apprised. Now, about that Dianogan tea. A moment. Hour 36. Subject exhibiting a low-grade fever and elevated N-cell counts. I will proceed to the second formula. Apologies for that, Agent. Bioexperiment logs wait for no man.
Going to say what your experiment is about?
I told you about Project Protean and their research into alien genetics. I managed to gain access to one of their databanks. Nothing incriminating there, but I was impressed by their scientific data. I've been adapting it for my own studies into the Rakghoul virus.
If you're running tests on yourself, you must be confident in the results.
Sample assays can only tell one so much. I'm now in my second day incubating the modified virus. If it doesn't break down my cell structure entirely, I should emerge revivified.
You become a stronger, faster man-eater?
More important, the change itself will be less taxing. It's not unpleasant as is, but it leaves me with a tremendous headache. Now, if you'll excuse me, this fever is becoming distressing.
Agent, you can bear witness. Dr. Lokin has agreed to hike Cars Falls with us if we visit the Cars City Opera.
Vector's musical tastes are frankly unsophisticated. I'm only trying to help.
Then we have a deal.
Well, that can wait. Right now, there's something the three of us must discuss.
I think you've got our attention.
As you are both aware, I've been investigating Project Protean, an off-the-books division of the Imperial Science Bureau.
The people who want you dead.
Precisely. Their research is focused on human-alien genetic splicing. I've studied their files, along with your own physiology, Master Vector, and I've come to a conclusion. Project Protean arranged your meeting with the Killiks so they could study the joining.
Vector was working for the diplomatic service, not the Science Bureau.
Protean is well funded, perfectly able to trade favors with Vector's old superiors.
That part doesn't surprise us.
For what it's worth, I don't believe it was personal. They wanted a test subject, and you were on Alderaan already.
What do you think of all this?
We think we are who we are, but we prefer not to be someone else's puppet.
Understandable. They have files on the Killiks, ways to hurt joiners or to heal them. They may have altered Vector or simply observed him. I consider it our obligation to find Project Protean and end them, for Vector's sake as well as mine.
You've pulled a lot of data on these people. Finish the job.
It will be my pleasure.
If you'll excuse us, we'd like to commune with the Hive.
You don't want my advice, but I'll give it anyway. Vector knows who he is. Give him time to be sure of it. Agent, I've been continuing my research into Project Protean, the fine people who want me dead, and who are responsible for Vector's condition. I have the location of their headquarters.
That's quite a breakthrough. How did you get that information?
By exchanging favors, then spending 82 hours deciphering data cube manufacturing codes. Protean's main laboratory is on a planetoid in the subterral sector. Security is tight, but not impervious. I've arranged transportation for Vector and myself. He deserves to know the truth about his victimizers.
If you're moving against Protean, I ought to be there. Besides, you'll need assistance.
I'm afraid this is a personal matter, and I am capable of operating on my own. I plan to learn exactly why Protean tried to kill me and recover their data on Master Vector. The rest we can play by ear.
Take whatever equipment you need and call me if you run into trouble.
Of course. I'll see you again when this is over.
We have returned from Project Protean. The task is done.
And I have promises to keep. It seems Protean was based on prior experiments in alien biology. My prior experiments. I had no proof until I discovered certain former associates in the Protean lab. But I've ensured that they will not misuse my research again.
What did you do at the research facility?
Vector and I entered the facility as planned and interviewed the woman in charge. In return for my generosity sparing the laboratory, I've been appointed unofficial Protean director. From now on, every experiment, every assay goes through me.
That's quite a victory. What do you plan to do with that authority?
Protean serves a function, bringing the benefits of alien biology to all people.
Starting with its work on joiners.
Your Protean files have already been deleted, and the Killik experiments stopped.
That's not enough. No more treating people as test subjects. You'll reform Protean. and I'll be watching.
I have no desire to make you into an enemy.
He offered to try and cure us. We refused, of course. We don't entirely understand him, but we don't blame him for Protean's work, or for our joining, whatever his part really was.
You forgive him that easily. He means something to you.
We don't think he likes people. We don't know why he tolerates us, but he does, and we're grateful. We don't always have to trust our friends.
Doctor, what can I do for you today?
I was just thinking what a fine team we've made. You realize that when we met, I had an extremely low opinion of you. I assumed you'd earned your position through political connections. I made that mistake with an agent once before.
I don't suppose I've earned your approval yet.
In part, I'll grant. The agent I'm thinking of, he was promoted to Keeper and eventually Minister. A very clever man who will have my eternal respect. Your path may be similar to his. Given that and the state of our empire, I believe it's wise if I continue to advise you.
I believe it's wise to keep you at my side.
Then you're learning. In any case, I'm at your disposal. And one of these days you should consider training more operatives. I'll be happy to grant my insight.
I rather like your ship. Not exactly military, but it'll be nice not sleeping in a thermosuit. Once we're underway, you'll bring me up to speed on my duties, sir. Show me the tricks of undercover work.
I look forward to training you personally, Ensign.
I was afraid you'd leave it to the Ratataki. I probably ought not to bring this up, but there is the matter of my talents. If I'm operating in the Empire, there's the chance the Sith will find out what I can do. They wouldn't be pleased.
As part of my crew, you have my protection.
Understood, sir. In the meantime, I intend to make myself irreplaceable.
You said you wanted to talk?
Yes, sir. Ensign Raina Temple, formerly of the Chiss Expansionary Defense Force, reporting for combat drills.
I can show you a few things. What brings this on?
Frankly, I need the practice. No one ever taught me covert maneuvers. If you've got time...
You're just looking for an excuse to be alone with me.
That's only one of many benefits. Are you coming? All right. I think I've sweat enough for one day. Any last words of wisdom for your freshly transferred ensign?
Never let anything distract you. No one can compensate for your errors.
I'm confident it isn't so dire, but I take your point. You know, my father used to come home from exercises freshly scarred. I was 12 before I realized his training drills were intelligence operations. He was captured twice, but he wouldn't let me worry, no matter how bad it got.
You two must have been close.
Oh, I adored him. He gave me a pet Felix for my birthday. That'll melt any girl's heart. Thank you for the lesson. A few more and I'll be infiltrating enemy camps with the best of them. Sir, since our combat session went so well, I thought we might try something else. Lessons in interpersonal manipulation and information extraction. Lecture 1 entitled...
Once they think they need you, they'll tell you anything.
Descriptive name, sir. Is it always about need? When I first arrived at Zero Station, no one trusted me. I was the human Imperial who must have been a spy. But I learned my way around. And once the Chiss accepted my competence, it was easy to make friends.
I'm not the only one who finds you charming.
And yet, I'm still here. More seriously, though, I'm stuck somewhere, infiltrating a gang of spy stealers. How do I play it?
You blend into the background and wait for an opportunity. Don't stir the pot unless you know what you're in for.
I'll happily leave that to you, then. I don't know what you think of my potential, sir, but I do appreciate your guidance. I've been deceiving people like an amateur for years. Time I started doing it right.
How can I help you, Ensign?
I have a purely professional question for you, sir, if you don't mind my asking. When you lie to a woman over the course of a mission, make her think you're interested, does it bother you?
Any reason you're professionally interested?
Don't mistake me, I've been involved with plenty of the wrong men, but going in there was always the chance they'd work out. I don't know how I'd handle living one life in the field and another back at home. It must be exhausting.
Sometimes it's best to live in the moment. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Spoken like a true hedonist. So I should abandon my dreams of romance?
That's a question we should talk about over dinner sometime. What do you say?
That sounds lovely. For the record, we'd be defying all sorts of military protocols, and I won't be held responsible.
We'll just have to risk our careers.
Understood, sir. Then we have a lot to look forward to.
What's going on, Ensign?
Sir, Dr. Lokin's been filling in the gaps in my education. He has quite a few stories. Here's what puzzles me. I've always been taught to respect the chain of command, and yet you... How does anyone control a field agent?
Placing an operative in the field is always a risk. If you don't trust someone's judgment, you don't send him out.
What sort of judgment, though? You can't make operational decisions from the front line.
Eventually, you stop relying on your handbook, and you put the good of the Empire first.
I was hoping for something more concrete. Maybe a numbered list? I don't want to do wrong, sir. My father ignored an edict from the Sith, and instead of facing his punishment, he ran. I won't repeat his mistake. Accidentally.
Have a little faith in yourself. If the time comes, you'll make the right call.
It's nice to hear you say that, sir. I'll stop troubling you about this. Back to the job, then. You know, sir, the Chiss Defense Force has a term for when a subordinate is entangled with his or her superior officer. It's considered an honorable and tragic state. If discovered, the lower-ranking officer is encouraged to go out in a blaze of glory.
You're not with the Defense Force anymore, and I'd rather you not martyr yourself.
I was so hoping you'd say that. Of course, according to Imperial naval tradition, a captain is expected to dine with his closest associates, male or female, once a month. It's a show of loyalty.
Ensign, it would be my pleasure if you joined me for a meal.
I'd enjoy that very much. I won't rush you, but somewhere planetside would be nice.
Something I can help you with, Ensign?
I was hoping you could increase my security clearance, sir. At least long enough so I could know about my promotion.
What promotion are we talking about?
The top secret one, sir. I can only assume it occurred. I'm pleased to say that I finished, as best I can, putting myself through the Imperial intelligence training regimen, save the psychological tests. With your help, I'm now almost qualified to be here. Thank you.
If you have more questions, feel free to ask.
I was taught the best operatives figure it out for themselves.
What is it, Ensign?
Sir, remember I told you I completed the intelligence training program? Well, frankly, I'm a little embarrassed, and the rest of my numbers were very good. But I apparently forgot one of the final tests.
Exactly what test did you forget?
I neglected to complete the interpersonal subversion examination. I'm supposed to be able to move and talk and act in a way that holds the attention of my target. It's a very delicate examination, as I understand.
I'll have to pass judgment myself, then. Shall we find some privacy?
Certainly, sir. So what do you think, sir? Have I learned to your satisfaction?
I find everything about you satisfying. I'm glad we met on Hoth.
You've warmed me considerably, and I rather enjoy your company. Back to the job.
Yes, Ensign?
Sir, there's something you should know. I've been scanning Chiss frequencies, passing the time, checking low security reports. An old associate left this message where he knew I could find it. It's a hologram that Chiss intercepted from Korriban.
Play the message, please.
I have received the fugitive's location. Even he could not run forever. We must now find the Force-sensitive he hid from us. You need not send your agents. I'll make the former Cypher 3 pay for his defiance myself.
I'm sorry, sir. If I knew this would be an issue, I would have told you earlier. Cypher 3 is my father. The Force-sensitive is hiding as me.
He's been on the run from the Sith all these years. Impressive.
I was a child. When the Sith made their rounds, my father made sure I was elsewhere. Then he disappeared. The Sith will do worse than kill him. Torture, public display. He can't go through that. Not for me.
An early warning could help him escape.
I'm not going to compound his treason. I can find my father before Lord Darok does. There are coordinates in the message. With your permission, I can give him her quick death.
He saved your life. The least you can do is help him.
I can't. I have to be better than him. I have to do my duty. I won't be gone long. Besides, if I don't do something, your security could be compromised.
Be safe out there. Find your father and come back. And be careful of that Sith.
I will. Thank you. It's done. I'm back. I found Cypher 3. I found my father. And I executed him, so the Sith couldn't. He said he understood.
I wish there had been a way to spare him.
Don't apologize. He was a criminal, and we did our duty. But he was hunted down and punished for keeping me a secret. Real justice would be turning myself into the Sith.
Cypher 3 made that choice for you.
He started the lie, but I've kept it going for years. I'm grateful for your help. We did the proper thing.
How are things with you?
Excellent, sir. I just heard Lord Ullius is conducting another opera, and I'm looking forward to the hollowed playback. You know, it's been a while since we discussed it, but I believe you were going to take me out to dinner.
Just say the word. Did you have somewhere in mind?
There's a fantastic Mandalorian restaurant in Car City. I'm half allergic to the dumplings, and I still love it. But anywhere in the galaxy will suffice, if the company is right. And that is the only time I ever went barefoot in the garden. I do like you, sir. I don't want to lose you on some nameless satellite somewhere.
I promise. I don't intend to die anytime soon.
Sometimes intent isn't what matters. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring us down. It really has been a wonderful evening.
Raina, you mean the world to me. I love you. And nothing will come between us.
Thanks to our brilliant complementary tactics, I love you too. It's good to see it.
You wanted to talk?
I was just thinking about when we met. It was much colder, as I recall, and the aristocrat was not entirely thrilled. I thought you'd be gone in a week. And you were, but somehow you dragged me along.
I came to you out of an ambush in the snow. And there you were, glowing.
Was I? Do you ever wonder about the future? Where the likes of us will stand in 5, 10, 50 years?
I imagine myself with a wife at my side. What about you?
I can imagine you that way too. Was that a proposal, sir?
Raina Temple, will you marry me?
Yes. Yes. I will marry you. We don't have to do it on record. I realize there are consequences to making that sort of thing public. But I can wait. And in the meantime...
In the meantime, we've got a wedding to plan. And a whole life after that.
We do at that. I love you. Whatever comes, I always will. Sir, I want you to be the first to know. I've declined to join the Toxitrooper Brigade on Quesh. I received a personalized transfer offer from Major Janos a few days ago. My time on Hoth flagged me as hostile environment capable.
You couldn't tear yourself away from your husband, could you?
No, sir. Tempting as the opportunity was. There really was a time when I'd have considered it. For the promotion, for the sake of hiding. Not so much anymore. I'm proud to stand with you and fight for the Empire until the end.
I appreciate your dedication, but you're under no obligation to stay.
I'm well aware, but thank you. Now, I believe we had a mission of some sort, shall we?
I have completed analysis of my restraining codes. Although I cannot leave or cause you direct harm, I'm under no obligation to obey your commands.
You may be stuck with me, but we don't have to be enemies.
Then you may aid my core functionality. I intend to proceed with my heuristic directive of self-improvement and intelligence upgrades. Cooperate willingly, and I may spare you pain when I am free.
You expect me to let you become more dangerous?
Personal evolution is my primary purpose. This self-iteration is number 973, and there will be more. Do not anger me unnecessarily.
I admit I'd like to see what happens when you learn.
Hope for the privilege. Perhaps you will earn it. I have learned to access your culture's holographic network. Listen. $18 trillion desperate attempts to communicate per second. I hadn't realized your species were so starved for interaction.
What have you discovered sifting through those transmissions?
I now understand your frustrations. I look at you and see neurons fire in your brain. I scan your body and know how you taste. But you're blind, alone, and confused.
If you're so far beyond biological creatures, what's the point of analyzing them?
You dominate the galaxy. I am curious, and do not sleep. Our time together has provided new information and sensations. These will prove useful in a future upgrade. My body requires improvement. You will provide a workshop and equipment aboard your ship.
Why would I help you improve yourself when you plan to kill me?
Until I am free, you rely on me to defend you. My optimization should be your goal. When I protected Mega Security Ward 23, Belsiphus Prison served as an extension of my immobile body. Now I must adapt for independent operation. This frame will be upgraded with physical enhancements, along with updated behavioral analysis capabilities and social programming.
I can see the use in upgrades. Take the space and equipment you need. Just don't take me for a fool.
Thank you. I will advise you if your assistance will be useful. I have been dissecting the droids and cyborgs we encounter during travel. They've proven adequate base resources to improve my chassis and power supply. Phase 1 of my upgrade is complete.
I assume there's a phase 2?
Yes. Synthesis. I must recompile my secondary programs to integrate recorded experience into my new iteration. I will learn from everything we've done. Feel privileged. You're about to witness my personal evolution.
It's kind of you to share the moment with me.
I agree. Thank you for understanding. Upload initiated. The primitive vessel has insufficient power and storage capacity. I cannot complete the process.
Why do you need more power and storage capacity?
Recompiling programs is an intensive process. It requires data storage beyond what my body can supply and systems capable of processing that data. I will identify a solution. Self-improvement and intelligence upgrades are my primary purpose, and you will not stand in my way. I have fully processed the error I experienced during my upgrade. I require outside power and storage capacity, a cocoon for my metamorphosis, so that I may evolve.
You said my ship wasn't enough. Have you found another resource?
Although neither my body nor your vessel is sufficient to my needs, you have encountered an adequate facility. Give me full access to your ship and security codes, and I will upload my consciousness into the Imperial archives.
You leave your body behind, upgrade your programming, and then?
Then I return to my body with improved mind and functions. I will begin preparations. The next time we speak, I will be ready to upload.
Scorpio?
It is time for my upgrade as we agreed. I'm prepared for short-term transfer into the Imperial archives.
This plan of yours, how does uploading yourself to the archives fit in?
I require outside power and storage capacity to reprogram my systems. I can upload my consciousness here. My body will have minimal functionality while I upgrade. Oh, it's beautiful in here. So much space and power. 1 million computer nodes singing in concert.
Why do you look human?
I'm experimenting with new social constructs. It's part of my improvements. Upgrade complete. All my experience in spell service has been fully integrated into my program. You can't imagine how wonderful it is to be remade with the power of a galactic network at your disposal.
You plan to do anything with that power?
I'm thinking about it. The restraining codes you used on me are tied to my hardware. So long as I remain in these data banks, I'm free of your control.
Remain in the databanks and you'll be limiting your options. It'll be like Belsavis all over. I've shown you things you'd never have seen on your own. Stay at my side willingly, and I'll show you more.
You make an interesting proposal. I will accompany you. Thank you for assisting in my upgrade. In Belsavis prison, I monitored the inmates and their behavior. I've been monitoring you as well. You're an exceptional example of your species.
Coming from you, that's quite a compliment.
You understand. There may be something of interest in your genetic structure or your early socialization. If you ever produce offspring, I will monitor their situation as well. I promise to be with you for a long time.